You probably spent most of your life hearing the same simple advice. If you want healthy eyes, eat more carrots. And to be fair, carrots do contain nutrients that support vision. But after the age of 60, your eyes are dealing with something much bigger than a simple vitamin shortage. At that stage of life, your eyes are not just asking for general nutrition. They are asking for specific protection, specific support, specific compounds that help defend some of the most delicate tissues in your body from the stress of time, light, and aging. And this is exactly where most people are missing the real story, because there are three vegetables that may be even more important than carrots when it comes to supporting the part of your eye responsible for sharp, central vision. And one of the biggest mistakes people make with these vegetables is so common, so simple, and so easy to fix that once you hear it, you may never prepare your meals the same way again. What most people do not realize is that while you sleep tonight, your eyes will still be hard at work. Deep inside the retina, millions of specialized cells continue carrying out maintenance, recovery, and defense processes. They are dealing with the strain of bright sunlight, the glare of headlights, the stress of screens, the effects of normal metabolism, and the slow wear and tear that builds up after decades of living. Your eyes may be closed, but inside, the work does not stop. And here is the problem almost nobody talks about. That nightly maintenance process depends heavily on what your body has available to work with. If your bloodstream is low in the very nutrients that help protect and support those tissues, then your eyes may not be getting the full support they need. And over time, that can become part of a much larger story. A story that many people simply blame on age. You wake up one morning and the newspaper feels a little harder to read. A few months later, labels in the grocery store seem slightly blurrier than they used to. Then road signs are not quite as sharp from a distance. Then nighttime driving becomes more uncomfortable because the glare from headlights feels brighter and more irritating than before. Most people shrug and say, well, that is just getting older. And yes, getting older is part of the picture. But what if nutrition is part of the picture too? What if your eyes have been depending on specific nutrients for years, but your meals have not been giving them enough? What if some of the changes that feel inevitable are not only about age, but also about what your body has or has not been receiving consistently over time? That is what makes today's topic so important. Because today, I am going to share 3 of the best vegetables to eat for better eye health after 60. These are not magic foods. They are not miracle cures, and they are not a substitute for proper medical care. But they do provide some of the most important nutrients associated with supporting the part of the eye responsible for detailed central vision. And one of these vegetables is probably already sitting in your refrigerator right now. But there is a catch. Most people either eat it in the wrong form or they pair it with the wrong kind of meal, which may dramatically reduce how much benefit their body actually absorbs. That one mistake could mean you are missing out on one of the most eye-friendly nutrients available from food. So stay with me until the end, because I am also going to share the 2 most common mistakes people make when trying to eat for eye health, and one of them may be quietly canceling out a lot of their effort. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Linera, and my goal is simple: to take complex health research and explain it in plain English so you can make smarter, calmer, more confident decisions for your health. If you enjoy evidence-based information without the confusing medical jargon, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And if there is a health topic you would like me to cover in a future video, leave it in the comments below. I read as many comments as I can, and many of these videos come directly from your questions. Now, before we get to the 3 vegetables, there is something very important you need to understand. Inside the center of your retina is a tiny area called the macula. It is small, very small, but it is responsible for some of the most important visual tasks you perform every day. Reading, recognizing faces, watching television, using your phone, driving safely, seeing detail, following a recipe, reading a message from your family, looking at a medicine bottle, checking a bill, finding the right exit sign on the road. Almost all of those moments depend heavily on a healthy macula. And the macula relies on 2 special plant compounds called lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of them like internal sunglasses. They help filter certain high-energy light and help provide antioxidant protection to delicate tissues in the eye. That matters because the retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in the entire human body. It is constantly working, constantly processing light, constantly converting visual information into signals your brain can understand. Tissues that work that hard need support. And one of the most remarkable things about lutein and zeaxanthin is that your body cannot produce them on its own. Not even a little. Every single bit must come from the foods you eat. That means if your diet is consistently low in these nutrients, your eyes do not have a backup system. They cannot manufacture more. They cannot improvise. They simply go without. And that is one reason researchers and eye health experts keep paying attention to these compounds. Again and again, higher intake of lutein and zeaxanthin-rich foods has been associated with better support for macular pigment, which plays an important role in long-term visual health. Now, does that mean one plate of vegetables will suddenly transform your eyesight? Of course not. That is not how nutrition works. Nutrition is not instant. It is cumulative. It works slowly, quietly, and steadily in the background. Much like damage accumulates slowly, support accumulates slowly too. And after the age of 60, those small daily choices become more important than ever. Which brings us to vegetable number 1, spinach. If there were a championship trophy for eye-friendly vegetables, spinach would be a serious contender. Spinach is especially valuable because it is rich in lutein, one of the major pigments associated with protecting and supporting the macula. When most people think about eye health, they still picture carrots. But when specialists talk about nutrients linked to the macula, spinach often enters the conversation very quickly, and for good reason. It is accessible, it is affordable, it is easy to find, and it delivers one of the most important nutrients your eyes cannot make for themselves. But here is something many people do not know. Raw spinach is not always the smartest way to eat it. Now let me be clear. Raw spinach is not unhealthy. A raw spinach salad can absolutely be part of a healthy meal, but when spinach is raw, some of its beneficial compounds remain trapped inside the plant's tough cellular structure. Light cooking helps break down those structures and may make certain nutrients easier for your body to access and absorb. That means lightly steamed spinach may actually provide more usable nutrition than a giant bowl of raw leaves. And there is another detail here that is just as important. Always try to eat spinach with a healthy source of fat, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a few slices of avocado, a handful of walnuts, a sprinkle of chopped almonds. Why does that matter? Because lutein is a fat-soluble nutrient. Without dietary fat, your body absorbs much less of it. In other words, the healthy fat acts like a delivery system. It helps move those nutrients where they are needed most, including your eyes. This is one of the most common mistakes people make with healthy foods. They focus on what is on the plate, but not on whether their body can use it well. And absorption matters just as much as intake. Because if a nutrient stays locked away or passes through with limited absorption, you may not receive the full benefit you were counting on. Spinach also has another major advantage. It is flexible. You can add it to eggs, soups, stews, beans, pasta, rice dishes, smoothies if you tolerate the flavor, a simple side dish with dinner. That matters because the best healthy food is not the one that sounds impressive in a video. The best healthy food is the one you can realistically eat again and again. This is where many people go wrong with nutrition after 60. They keep looking for the perfect food, the perfect plan, the perfect superfood, the perfect supplement. But long-term health is rarely built on perfection. It is usually built on repetition. Simple foods, repeated consistently. A little support, over and over, for years. That is how the body changes. Not through one grand gesture, but through routine. And spinach is one of the easiest vegetables to turn into a routine. Now let's move to vegetable number 2. Kale. If spinach is impressive, kale may be even more remarkable. In fact, many nutrition experts consider kale one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables you can eat. Like spinach, kale contains high levels of lutein and zeaxanthin, the same two compounds we just talked about. That alone would make kale valuable for eye support. But kale offers something else too. It also contains vitamin C, an important antioxidant nutrient that helps protect tissues throughout the body, including tissues involved in vision. This matters because your eyes spend a lifetime exposed to stress. Sunlight, artificial light, screen glare, environmental irritants, and the ongoing metabolic demands of simply being alive. Over the years, all of that adds up. Not in one dramatic moment, but gradually, quietly, patiently. This is where the idea of oxidative stress becomes important. Now that phrase can sound technical, but the concept is actually simple. Think of oxidative stress as tiny bits of wear and tear happening inside the body every day. One day is not the issue, 1 week is not the issue, even 1 year may not seem like much. But several decades of low-level stress can start to matter, especially in delicate tissues. And your eyes are full of delicate tissues. Your retina is delicate. The structures involved in focusing light are delicate. The tissues supporting central vision are delicate. They work hard, and they benefit from consistent nutritional protection. That is why antioxidant-rich foods become increasingly important as we age. Kale is one of those foods that helps provide a concentrated package of supportive compounds in one place. But there is a practical problem. A lot of people think they hate kale. In reality, many of them just hate badly prepared kale. They force themselves to eat a massive raw kale salad because they assume raw must always be healthier. But that is not always true. Raw kale can be tough, dry, bitter, hard to chew, and difficult to enjoy. Light cooking often makes kale easier to digest, easier to chew, and much more pleasant to eat. Try lightly sautéing kale with a small amount of olive oil and a squeeze of fresh lemon. You can add garlic if you want more flavor. You can mix it into eggs, stir it into soup, add it to beans, use it as a simple side dish with fish or chicken. Suddenly, kale becomes much more realistic. And realistic foods are the foods that stay in your life. That matters more than people think. Because a perfect food that you never eat is useless. And a healthy food you only eat once in a while will not help as much as a good food you eat consistently. Kale also reinforces a lesson that becomes more important with age. Your body does not need you to be extreme. It needs you to be steady. Steady support, steady intake, steady habits, a little more of the right things over and over again. That is often what creates the biggest difference over time. Now let's move to vegetable number 3. And this one surprises almost everyone. Orange bell peppers. Most people associate eye health with leafy greens. Very few people think about bell peppers, but they should. Orange bell peppers contain zeaxanthin, one of the primary pigments found in the macula. Remember the internal sunglasses analogy we talked about earlier? Zeaxanthin is part of that protective shield. It helps support the tissues responsible for central, detailed vision. And because of that, foods rich in zeaxanthin continue to attract interest from researchers studying nutrition and eye health. But orange bell peppers offer another major advantage too. They are rich in vitamin C. In fact, many people are surprised to learn that bell peppers can contain more vitamin C than some fruits most people automatically associate with this nutrient. And vitamin C matters because it helps support healthy tissues and contributes to the antioxidant defenses your body relies on every day. That includes tissues in the eye. Another reason orange bell peppers are so useful is that they are incredibly easy to work into normal life. They do not have to be steamed if you do not want to steam them. They do not require a complicated recipe. They can be sliced raw and eaten with lunch, added to salads, dipped in hummus, served with a yogurt-based dip, tossed into eggs, added to stir-fries, roasted with dinner. They are simple, affordable, colorful, and available in almost every grocery store. That matters, because most people do not improve their health through dramatic, unrealistic changes. They improve it through small upgrades they can actually maintain. That is the real secret. Not intensity, sustainability. A vegetable that is easy to buy, easy to prepare, and easy to enjoy has a much better chance of helping you than a vegetable that sounds impressive but never actually makes it onto your plate. And that is part of what makes orange bell peppers so valuable. They quietly improve your diet without demanding much in return. Now that you know the three vegetables, I want to share two of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to eat for eye health. The first mistake is not eating enough healthy fat alongside these foods. This is incredibly common. Someone prepares a large salad full of nutritious vegetables and assumes they are doing everything right. And to be fair, they are doing many things right. But if there is virtually no healthy fat in the meal, the absorption of key nutrients may be reduced. Lutein and zeaxanthin are fat-soluble. That means they need dietary fat to be absorbed efficiently. The good news is that you do not need very much. A small drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a few slices of avocado, a handful of walnuts, a few almonds, even a modest amount can make a meaningful difference. This one simple habit may help your body use these nutrients more effectively. And once you understand that, you start to see eye-friendly eating in a whole new way. It is not just about eating the right vegetable, it is about building the right meal. The second mistake is inconsistency. And honestly, this may be the biggest mistake of all. Many people eat healthy foods for a few days and expect dramatic results. That is not how nutrition works. Your body responds to patterns, not random good intentions, not occasional bursts of perfect eating. Patterns. Think about brushing your teeth. You do not brush once and expect lifelong protection. You brush consistently. Day after day, week after week, year after year. The power is in the repetition. Eye-supporting nutrition works the same way. A serving of spinach several times a week. Some kale with dinner. Fresh orange bell peppers added to a meal or snack. Small choices. Repeated often. That is how support accumulates. This is especially important after 60. At that stage of life, the goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. The goal is not to impress anyone with a flawless diet. The goal is to give your eyes more of what they need, more regularly, for the rest of your life. That is where the real benefit comes from. And there is another quiet mistake people make. They wait until something feels seriously wrong before they start caring. But your body gives you opportunities long before a crisis. Every grocery trip is an opportunity. Every breakfast, lunch, and dinner is an opportunity. Every side dish is an opportunity. You do not need to become obsessed. You do not need to become afraid. You just need to become a little more intentional. If you are already cooking eggs, add spinach. If you are already making dinner, add kale. If you are already packing lunch, slice some orange bell peppers. If you are already making a salad, add olive oil so your body can use what you are eating. These are not overwhelming changes. They are realistic ones. And realistic changes are the ones that last. Now let's bring everything together. Your eyes work incredibly hard every single day. From the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep, they are processing light, adjusting focus, finding contrast, recognizing detail, and helping you safely move through the world. They help you read a message from someone you love. They help you watch your favorite show. They help you recognize a familiar face. They help you drive to the store. They help you read directions on medication. They help you enjoy hobbies, books, recipes, television, and the ordinary visual moments that make daily life feel manageable and connected. And while you sleep, those same eyes continue working behind the scenes, trying to maintain and protect some of the most delicate tissues in your body. That is why giving them the nutrients they depend on is one of the smartest investments you can make after 60. Spinach provides powerful amounts of lutein. Kale delivers lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin C, and other valuable nutrients. Orange bell peppers provide zeaxanthin and an impressive amount of vitamin C in a simple, accessible form. Together, these vegetables offer some of the most important nutritional support associated with long-term eye health. And the best part is this: they do not require a prescription. They do not cost a fortune. They are not exotic. They are not impossible to find. They are ordinary foods available in ordinary stores, capable of becoming part of an extraordinary long-term habit. But if there is one message I want you to remember from this video, it is this: do not just eat these vegetables. Use them wisely. Light cooking when appropriate, healthy fat for better absorption, and enough consistency for your choices to actually matter. because protecting your vision is not only about seeing clearly, it is about living clearly. It is about confidence. It is about comfort. It is about safety. It is about independence. It is about being able to read, drive, cook, shop, recognize faces, and move through life with a little more ease and a little less struggle. That is why this conversation matters so much, not because vegetables are exciting, but because your eyesight touches almost everything you do. And the truth is, most people do not realize how much vision matters until it starts becoming harder to trust. So, if you are over 60 or getting close to it, this is the moment to take these small daily choices seriously, not out of fear, not out of panic, but out of wisdom. Because the earlier you begin supporting your eyes consistently, the more time those choices have to matter. And if you have spent years believing carrots were the whole story, now you know the story is much bigger than that. Carrots can still be part of a healthy diet, but they are not the only player on the field. Spinach belongs in the conversation. Kale belongs in the conversation. Orange bell peppers absolutely belong in the conversation. These are simple foods. But sometimes simple foods, used consistently, become powerful tools. And powerful tools protect something priceless: your ability to keep seeing the people you love, the places you enjoy, and the life you have built. So the real question is not whether these vegetables are perfect. The real question is whether they are worth making room for on your plate. And after everything we just talked about, I think the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Before we finish, I would love to hear from you. How old are you? Which of these vegetables do you already eat regularly? And which one are you planning to add to your meals this week? Leave your answer in the comments below. I truly enjoy reading your experiences, and your comments often inspire future videos. And if this video helped you see eye health in a new way, please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who wants to protect their vision, preserve their independence, and age with a little more confidence. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, protect your eyes while you still have the power to do something about it. And I will see you in the next video.